Hi, howdy, how there? I'm back again. It's a bit late. It's like 9 o'clock over here. You know how time zones work. It sucks. My life sucks. Oh, there he is. We're back with more of this. I don't even remember where I left off. Before, I got interrupted last time, so the video wound up being shorter. But we're back to it. I don't remember what I was speccing into. I think it was just defense. Which is not a good idea, I know. I need to actually be able to kill these guys, but oh, fuck, my orientation on my keyboard's off. I've been playing Undertale recently. It's cool, it's a lot of fun. Originally when I first tried to get into it, because Deltarune was picking up speed and I thought I should play through it, I got stuck on Undyne, on a pacifist run, which I'm not sure how embarrassing that is. To me, it was a very hard thing to do, and because I, have the problem-solving skills of a clay brick, I did not realize that you were supposed to run away. To actually get it done. I eventually realized it. I realized that, in fact, the highlighted dialogue does mean something. Why am I talking about Undertale while I'm playing this? I would feel bad spoiling it if it wasn't like a 10-year-old game. I don't even remember how old it is. But it is ancient. Ah. Yeah. Here he is, the cool guy. I love that dance. I just love it. It's so peppy in the best way. Oh. Oh. This fight should be easier, but, I'm... Ah. Hit. Eh. He also has that ram that just knocks you over constantly if you're on the ground, which isn't fun to deal with. Ah. Yeah. Fruit. Ooh. A new sword. How have I not gotten that one? It's not bad. It's not good. It's far from good, but... I do find that one funny. Magic shovel! Ow. I wonder how much a magic shovel would do. Can I kill one of these guys with a magic shovel? No. Well, I probably could, but it would be painful. Uh. Yeah. What do I talk about? You ever played Rummy? Chances are, because I do look at my analytics, that you're American. And I'm, for some reason, relatively confident that there are few Americans that play Rummy. I know there are Americans that play Rummy, just not nearly as many. It's a great game. It's a card game. Just a classic deck of cards. Yeah. It's a great game. I'm going to try to explain Rummy as best I can without a deck of cards on hand. This is about to be painful. Well, you start with a regular deck of cards, jokers inserted, and a score sheet, and a pen. Or at least this is how I was taught to play it. Now you mark down everyone participating on the score sheet. The most I've ever seen participate is 5. And well, you shuffle the deck as you should, and you deal to everyone, depending on the number of players, a certain number of cards. For 5 people, it's 7. I think for 2 people, it's 9. I don't know the in-betweens. I know that it might not change between 2 and 3. And then, what you do is you go around, clockwise, in my experience. From whoever's starting, you decide who's starting, how you decide who's starting. Around the table, because usually you're playing at a table, I'd assume. Or, you can organize it weird. I'm not your dad. What else? Well, what you do then is you go around, and for the first time around the table, it's just the regular turn, start and ending your turns, which goes as follows. There are 2 piles. When you deal out the deck, you also flip over the top card onto a separate pile, face up. And that's the discard pile. And on everyone's turn, they must do the following. Draw a card to start their turn. Discard a card to end their turn, and play cards in between, and we'll get to what playing cards looks like in just a second. So for the first cycle, around back to the first person who played, you don't play any cards. You're not allowed to, or at least that's the rules I've lived with. Anyone who does play Rummy can tell me if maybe that's just a weird house rule that I've lived with. Once you've done that, once you've gone around the first time, then you can play, and also do this thing called buying. Again, put a pin in that. Everyone discards. You can draw off the regular pile or the discard pile, if you want. But only on your turn. Playing cards, you make sets of a minimum of 3 in size, and the sets can go as follows. Any 3 of a single number and upwards, so any 3 6s can be put together, any 3 whatever, up to obviously the 4, and any any single suit in ascending order. So basically, if you wanted to play hearts and just hearts, if you were to try to play a suit in one of these sets, I don't remember what they're called. What you do is you would have to place, say, hearts, 2 of hearts, 3 of hearts, 4 of hearts, and that would be a set. And it has to be ascending order and only hearts. And that's the other kind of set you can make. It's just the 2. And once you've done, you go around that, and you're trying to empty your hand is the thing. At the end of your turn, you have to discard, though. So if you wind up playing more cards than you... If you wind up playing too many cards to be able to discard at the end of your turn, then you can't play that set. And once you've done that, once you've gotten rid of all your cards, that's when you win. Now, buying is interesting. You see, at the start of any other player's turn, before they actually draw a card, you can ask to buy the card at the top of the discard pile. When doing that, you also have to draw a card off the regular pile. And because it's not actually your turn when you buy, you don't wind up throwing any of those away. So you wind up increasing the size of your hand, but you can get the cards you need. So when you do that, and you go around, that's the whole game pretty much. Jokers are interesting because they can be played as any card and in any situation. You just kind of have to clarify, what the Joker's supposed to be one way or another. In those 3 sets of 1 number hands, any one of those numbers can replace the Joker, and that's another thing you can do. You can grab the Joker by replacing it, but you cannot extend a set to where it no longer needs the Joker and take the Joker. You have to have a card to exactly replace the Joker. So in a set of 3 6s where it's 6, 6 Joker, you need another 6 to get the Joker. Or in a counting set of Joker, 2, 3, 4, you can't add a 5 on the end and then take the Joker. You have to have the ace in this case, because aces are highs and lows. You can put them at the end of queens and kings, but you can't trail off of them. Or at the beginning from a 2 before 2, but you can't tail a king or a queen off of that, or 2 after that. And you can extend on anyone's sets that you want. This is a really bad explanation. Anyways, the end of the game is the most important part, and that's where your score sheet comes back in. Everyone's names are marked down. Nice, lovely, awesome. You're doing that now. At the end of everyone's... at the end, when someone goes out, as it's called, what you do is you tally up all of the cards remaining in your hand by their values. Aces are 1s, and counting up till 10 is the highest, and jacks, queens, and kings are also 10s, and jokers are 50s. And generally, as I recall, the number you get to, someone has to get to for the game to end is 100. And when someone gets to 100, they lose, and the game's closed out, and you get your placements based on who was closer to 100 after them. Or, if more people pass 100 at the same time, it was whoever's the highest is the loser. You get the idea. And once that's all said and done, you've played Rummy. Play it with your friends, play it with your family. There was a time when me and my family would play that every night. Just like a quick game before bed. You can reduce the total amount needed to finish the game, depending on your needs. You can cut it in half and go down to 50, or you can, keep it at 100, whatever. So that's how you play Rummy. Don't know why I decided to explain that. I think I was just looking for something to say. So I just gave a really bad explanation of Rummy. No one's going to use this as a guide to play Rummy. It's kind of annoying that I have such a similar color palette to the guys I'm trying to kill. Like, just slightly, it's still easy enough. I can just look at the eyes, big or, well, not big, but, orange slits and tell. But, I'm still only speccing in defense, which is killing me, I think. I think I'm doomed. Even though I take, no damage from anything. Ah. My shitty explanation of Rummy has taken up my headspace. I need to think of something else. God damn. Well, I've died very few times in this run. And I think that's because I just have the highest possible defense I can right now. Not counting, obviously, items, well, weapons I could use, or animal orbs. I could get that number even higher. I don't know, I could probably look up what has the highest defense. Like, with weapons it's easy, but the animal orbs don't actually tell you how much of a stat they give. So I could probably look into what gives me the highest defense and find out exactly how resilient that would make me. Probably pretty resilient. Dunk, 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 dunk. I'm also getting a lot of levels because I do no damage, and because you get XP based per hit, I wail on them and I just get nothing but net. Oof. I could probably look into a better. I'm imagining the sword. Usually, a character's starting weapon is pretty good, especially like not the base characters. I'm curious though if there is a better sword that does what this one does, but better. I do like these guys. They're cute. They're chibis. Every character in this game is a Newgrounds style chibi kind of thing, and it's great. It's beautiful. I don't know what the fuck I just said, but it was words. I might have some kind of brain problem. You stop getting XP once they're dead. I don't know if that used to be the case, but it is now. I also never noticed this guy was actually larger than the other ones. I know it's not. I know I'm supposed to keep him away from the grand piano, but these aren't hard to dodge. It doesn't matter. Do I know any other card games? Hearts. I do know Hearts. That one is a little more complicated than Rummy, which is unfortunate, because I couldn't explain Rummy good, and that's a pretty simple game. So, let me try. You start by taking out the jokers. This one does not use jokers in the deck. And then you shuffle your deck. This game is different in that it requires, distinctly, 4 players. You then deal every player their share of the cards, which is exactly a quarter of the deck each. You just do that by passing out in a cycle. It just works out, whatever. Then, every player, and this game also works by rounds, and also with a count system to 100, but a different one. You'll see when I explain. Well, what you do then is you set aside 3 of your cards, and you pass them to the player on your left. Presumably, you're playing this with everyone seated in a cross from each other, like a plus sign would be the lines between you. And you first pass, on the first round, to the person to your left. On the first round of the cycle. To the person to your left. And that's the ideal start. You then take your cards, take those 3 cards, pass them to your left, and everyone gets back their 3 cards. Then the person holding the 2 of clubs places down the first card, and then there's the way play works. Aces are high in this game, and the person with the highest card that they play on the pile wins the pile. Every player plays 1 card in, again, a clockwise pattern from the person who starts. And you will go around for the pile, and you play 1 card. Highest card wins the hand. You don't necessarily want to win hands. Generally, that's a bad thing. When you win the hand, you are obligated to start the next hand. And there's a reason the game's called Hearts, believe it or not. And that reason is, what Hearts do, which is you can't play Hearts. You can't start a hand on Hearts. Not until Hearts are broken, and that'll explain something. So you probably thought, alright, well, highest card wins, that makes sense. But you have to play a card that is the same suit as the first card that starts the pile. So what happens when you run out of a suit? You play any other card you feel like playing, and that card cannot win that pile. If it is not the same suit, it cannot win the pile. You are free from that burden. And if that card that someone plays when they have no other cards of a certain suit happens to be a heart, then hearts are broken. You don't want to get hearts. If you win a pile with a heart in it, that means you've gotten 1 score, basically. You don't mark it down yet, though, because you do that at the end. You tally up your points once everyone's gotten rid of all their cards, which, instead of being objective, is just the game's functional timer. Your objective is to have the lowest score possible. By not winning hearts, and winning everything else, assuming. There's also another card that can get you a score. The Queen of Spades, or, as it is commonly referred to, the Black Bitch, which is a dumb name. Well, you could call it dumb, you could call it funny. Whatever you want to call it, it's that. It's just as far as you're concerned. And then whoever gets the Black Bitch gets 13 points. That's how much the Black Bitch is worth. There are 13 cards in the pile. It does not matter what number the heart is. If you get hearts, it just matters that it's a heart, and every heart counts as 1 no matter what number it is. And whoever has the lowest score by the time someone reaches 100 score, going in cycles, and I'll explain the passing through the cycles again later, because I said the first time you pass left, and that's because the other times, well, the second time you pass right, and the third time you pass across, and the fourth time you pass, you don't pass. And then, repeat, rinse and repeat from beginning. And that's how that goes. Once you're done with the game, that's whatever. There is another mechanic, though. If someone in any given hand of the game wins every heart and the Black Bitch, they do something called shooting the moon. So instead of getting 26 score, which is the amount they would get, everyone else gets 26 score and they get nothing. Generally, this is very hard to do. And someone can usually see it coming from a mile away. So you can't just pin it all on someone. You have to, diversify. Maybe sacrifice yourself a little if you want to make sure not one guy doesn't win basically the whole game. Once all's said and done, Hearts is pretty fun. There is also Shooting the Sun, which is if you win every hand in a game, which I think is, I think it's 50 or 52 points for everyone, or is it 100? It might be 100. Point is, it's scary. But I'm pretty, yeah, it's 52, I think. But that almost never happens. The odds of that are infinitesimal. I like that word, infinitesimal. It just means really tiny in comparison, usually used in reference of comparison, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, like just there. It just means really small, like the smallest, basically. Not literally the smallest, that would be saying the smallest. or the most infinitesimal. It's just a synonym for tiny. I've gone out of my way to explain the definition of infinitesimal. Well, yeah, that's hearts. I think I've explained everything about it. You can look up and tell me why I'm wrong in the comments, or you know why I'm wrong already. Well, I think after we finish this guy off, the video's gonna close out. And this boss is taking a really long time. I've just been explaining card games all day. Why did my character start facing the wrong way? Why does it start facing me that way? That's not the way of the thing. Normally this would be easier because you would have spec'd into some agility or magic so you could like hit this thing from afar with decent damage, but I didn't. So I'm using a base bow. Oh, this is painful. I do have to wonder, if this thing has laser eyes, why didn't it shoot them at us during... I'm not entirely sure. You could call... Is it a barn? What is it? It's a water mill. Well, not a water mill. Ugh. What would you call that? Forest cabin? I'm not entirely sure what that complex was. Now that I think about it. And it was a complex, it was fucking huge. It's a timed level, so there's no, like, variance where you could say you're going in circles. It's just... do. That's how big it is. So that's how far you're going. The place was huge. Who would need, like, if it's exclusive purpose, I think it is a mill. I think it is a mill, like a water mill. It uses water to mill. Because we see all that hay lying around, hay and presumably wheat, just kind of sitting around. And, you know, it's got a water wheel, so presumably it is a water mill. I think that does count as the end, doesn't it? Alright, well that's going to do it for this video, probably. The OBS window's gotten shrunk. Yep, that's enough. So, yeah, I had fun talking about card games. Alright, have a good one.